Vera and I are on our way to the store, get some food. Malin is on the boat working on this week's video. We're pretty close to real time at the moment in the videos. So the plan is to stay here for another night, I think. The weather looks pretty good right now, so we might exit into the Elbe and sail directly from Brunsbüttel to the island of Leland.
Du får säga, det här är båten Ran 2.
Hallå! Vem pratade med?
Alla. Ja.
Hejdå! Nu tar du i kaffe. Hur många liter är det kvar? How much more do we need to fill?
We're leaving a windy Rendsburg. There was quite some wind pushing us to port side, but we made it. And today we have a longer day on the canal. It's about 6 hours if we go in 6 knots of speed. And it's what is it now? Almost 12:30, so we will be there around 6:30 tonight in Brunsbüttel, which is a village at the end of the canal, close to the Elbe river. It's Friday today, and this week's episode is just finished, and it's uploading right now on YouTube. So it was real last minute. I worked the whole day yesterday, at least 12 hours, but the video is done, and now we're continuing.
That was the Royal Yacht of Denmark, and I think it's about 100 years old and it's in pristine condition, really beautiful. But I don't know if the Queen was on board. Other way.
Now we have a cruise ship behind us. It will pass us soon. And behind that is actually 2 other ships. So we have 3 now that will probably pass us. Yeah, they're going faster than us. Maximum speed on the canal is 8.1 knots. That is because that's 15 kilometers.
It's quite big ships that can go through here. I think the maximum length is 235 meters. That is pretty impressive when you see these big ships. That's pretty tight.
Closing in on and the end of the canal. We'll be there in about half an hour, and in this spot is where it started snowing the last time we were here 5.5 years ago. It was getting dark and we got this snowstorm that we had to navigate through. As recreational boats, you're only allowed to go on the canal during daylight, so you need to find a spot to dock before it gets dark.
That's a very cool boat. That's probably something I would get if I had the money to buy it.
This time the marina was open and we moored outside another Swedish boat. The marina is right next to the docks where the big ships go, and the traffic runs 24/7.
It's crazy how loud the propellers sound in here in the hull.
Before noon, we entered the lock to leave the canal.
So now we will exit out to the River Elbe, and it's about 17 nautical miles to Cuxhaven from here. So I think 2.5 hours, depending on how much current we will have against us for the first hour. So I think we have timed the tide pretty okay. We will have the tide against us, or the current against us, for about an hour, but then it will turn and we will have it with us. And the reason that we don't wait longer is that we don't want to have too much current when we reach Cuxhaven, because it's like a hole in the wall that you need to go through, and the current can run up to 4 knots out there. So that's why we will have some current against us first here. In ideal conditions, we should leave here and reach Cuxhaven when it's slack tide at low tide. But that's tonight, so we decided to go now instead. Yeah, they're still filling up the lock with boats. I guess we are like close to 10 sailboats in here right now. Yeah, as you can see, we're being lifted up right now, and it's a lot more than we were being lifted or lowered on the keel side. Because on the Baltic side there's hardly any tide, but on this side the tide swings are pretty high. I don't know exactly how high they are at the moment, but around 2.5 meters, I would say. Bell is ringing, it's time to head out.
Hey! Talking to a boat behind us that is from the same marina as us in Malmö, also heading for the Caribbean. We're out on the Elbe River now. Hamburg is that way, so then you will go south on the Elbe River. But we are now heading west to a town called Cuxhaven.
We're closing in on Cuxhaven, but we have decided that we will continue and sail directly to the island of Leland in the Netherlands. It's about 160 nautical miles there from here. And the reason that we changed our mind is that the forecast looks really good for the next 24 hours. First we thought that we should leave tomorrow from Cuxhaven and sail there, but then the wind will die pretty soon tomorrow afternoon.
I think we're doing the best choice here, taking advantage of the winds so we can sail in a little while.
Vad ska vi säga? Ingenting.
10.4 knots. That's our speed at the moment. 9.8. It goes between those two. We have quite some current with us now. Let's see here. Without current, we're doing 6.5. So it's 3.5 knots.
We have left the Elbe River and now we're out on the North Sea. It's pretty light conditions, around 7 knots. So we're not doing very good speed at the moment, especially since the tide has turned on us now, so we have the current against us. So we're doing around 2.9 to 3.2 knots over ground. The impeller for our log is fouled up, so I don't know what our speed through the water is, but I'm guessing around 4 knots. Malin is down below putting Vera to bed, and yeah, it's a beautiful evening. The wind has filled in now, so now the conditions are perfect beam reach.
We're passing a couple of ships that are staying at anchor here now, and we have a direct course for Leland. So if this wind will last the whole night, it will be just perfect.
Yeah, I just put up the whisker pole. The wind is shifting more and more to the east, but still not very strong. Right now we have 8 knots apparent, doing okay speed, 5.7, even though we have the current against us still. It's quite big confused seas if you compare it to how strong the winds are. so the sails are flogging a bit, which is always annoying. So I'm really hoping that the wind will build a bit more, especially now since we're more and more downwind. Because the boat is rocking back and forth and the wind isn't strong enough to keep the sails stable, so they flog. And it's like you get some scars on your brain every time that happens.
It's just past 7 a.m. and we are in the Netherlands. We have, what is it? We're gonna pass 3 more islands. Johan just went to bed. Now we're taking over. My back is killing me. I have slept in, I don't know, strange position. It's been so rolly. So we've been going back and forth in the bed. Har du sovit gott? Har du sovit gott? Yeah. Vera has slept well, she says.
We're closing in on Vale now. We have about 15 nautical miles left. The sailing is really good now, but I decided to roll up or take down the main because if we would have continued, we would have to take the whisker pole over to the other side because the wind direction has changed a bit now. So now we just sail with the Genoa, pulled out with the whisker pole, but we're still doing 7 to 8 knots because we have some current with us as well. So that's great. I'm really looking forward to go into the marina. I'm pretty tired actually. It's been super rolly the whole way. But now everything is steady. It was just that the seas were never in, how do you say that in English? The seas were never in the same, the seas were never at the same level as the wind speed.
Här är ju, där är Svealand. Hej! Hej, hej! Oj! Nu blev det en mindre koja.
The sail into the marina of Leland is over 5 nautical miles, so it's quite long, and you need to follow a buoyed channel since the water is super shallow on both sides. The harbour master escorts you to your slip, which was helpful in this quite small and crowded marina. It feels so good to be here. This is such a beautiful island. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps us out. Hope to see you next week.